Hi, my name is Jackie Kroll, and the task that I found on YouTube was how many feet? So, first question is how was this done? What can I do to do this activity? Well, first thing you need to do is prep. You need manipulatives, that could be counters or cubes. Those are just some examples, but the menu for manipulatives is huge, as you know. You'll need desks or tables arranged in small groups for this activity with chairs, and you'll also need paper and pencil for each student that's participating in this activity. Step number 1, students are going to sit at a table, and you can do this strategically. You can let them choose with free range, that's your choice. Step 2, you're going to ask kids, what is under the table? And you're hoping that kids will say, oh, our feet are under the table. And if not, you could just guide them there with questions. When they come to the realization, oh, our feet are under the table, you'll say, okay, make some noise. Make sure that your feet are there. They're going to get a kick out of that. You'll reel them back in, get their attention, and you're going to explain the instructions. The instructions are that without looking under the table, they're going to use math manipulatives to think and represent how many feet are under there. The catch is that they have to represent how they solved their problem and represent what they did on their paper so that they can explain it, and everyone needs to have something on their paper. At the end, students will check their answers by looking under the table and seeing how many feet there are. And if you get students saying, oh, I'm done, you can have them flip their paper over and try to represent it in a different way. So what misconceptions may emerge? Their answer could be 2, because some students think, oh, I know that I have 2 feet, I'm going to write 2. That's not necessarily right, but sometimes that's just how kindergartners think. Also, maybe they forget everyone has 2 feet, and instead of counting feet, they're counting bodies, which would be a no-no, and you'd have to support that. But here's some potential work that students could produce. In the first one, you see 4 bodies, and they're representing their counters, and they counted them by ones. In the end, they found that they had 8 feet. This one, they're showing part whole. Everyone has 2 feet, and they broke it down by 1, and they counted by ones as well and got 6. What is the purpose of this activity? This activity will help develop addition and their knowledge of that. Students will use drawing to represent and explain addition, and they will have to use procedural skills to do so. Are there connections to related ideas? Yes, students could use their knowledge of addition sentences, counting 1 to 1, and subitizing, and probably many more that I just couldn't think of. Who is doing the thinking? The students are, which is what we want. Then you're thinking, what could be problematic about this task? A couple that I thought of is I have students that can't count to 6. Not a lot, but some just can't yet. And that could be problematic. You would have to solve that by maybe pairing them up with a higher level student. A big one in my classroom is they're struggling working together, so they would have to be able to work together to come to a conclusion. And also representing their thinking could be problematic. In kindergarten, we don't do a lot of that every day habitually, but with practice, that will come. And what should students reflect on? What background knowledge might they need? Those problem-solving skills, part, whole, how many parts do we have, and what should our whole be? And also they're thinking back on, how have I shown my work in the past? How could I show my work now? For adapting a math task that could be applied to enhance this is multiple ways. Students are giving a variety of manipulatives, and they have a variety of choice to represent their thinking. It is an exploration because students they have the freedom to solve this in any way they want. They're working together. I'm postponing teaching the solution method, or a solution method, because students are able to try it on their own first. And by postponing me teaching, students might get a chance to teach their peers what they did. And then there's also multiple entry points because students get to show every single thing on their paper. Show what they know, show how they did it, show what their answer was. For concluding remarks, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but it relates to the intertwined strands of proficiency. This is in our book on page 2, and it has all the things that this task has, which made me excited. They'll need that conceptual understanding, and this will help build the operations and relations that they need to complete those procedures. They have to be able to think flexibly, to come up with a strategy to solve the problem. They have to have that flexible thinking and reasoning to represent and explain why they solved this problem. My name is Jackie Kral again, and I'm a kindergarten teacher, and I hope this made sense and you try it in your classroom. Thank you.